John, welcome again, and tell us about AEGIC. What is it?
Well, AEGIC's about making sure, firstly, we get the market signals into our research programs and into our breeding programs. Also making sure we're doing the genetic research so that we get the quality into our varieties, and then doing the research that makes sure that we can process and handle and protect that grain and get it to our markets in shape and in the form that it needs to be to make sure it actually gets the highest possible price.
But was there a gap? Was a lot of that stuff not being done?
Well, I guess over the last 3 years, we've been looking at a national RD&E strategy, and a part of doing that was actually looking for areas where we needed to build capability, and this was one of the areas that nationally we believed there was a need for greater capability within Australia. So this is a national centre. It's based in West Australia. It's based in Perth. It is a partnership between GRDC and the West Australian Government, but it's a national program, and it will be serving the needs of all growers in Australia.
Does it mean less duplication? Is it addressing that issue?
Look, it is a collaborative model. It's looking at working with all the skills and expertise across Australia. I guess our vision for the centre is that it will have very strong international links and be building on research that's occurring in other parts of the world. So it's not just about Australia, it's about making sure Australian growers have access to the best possible varieties, best possible quality to meet their customers' requirements.
Total investment of about $70 million, of which $20 million comes from GRDC. That's pretty substantial. You must have high expectations for the centre.
It is a very substantial investment, and yes, we have very high expectations. It's a new way of doing business. It's in the formation of a company, so it will be quite dynamic and be able to respond to market requirements. The West Australian Government is putting $30 million into a new facility, into infrastructure, and also $20 million into the programs, and GRDC is matching that $20 million with $20 million, so that's over a 5-year period. So it's a substantial investment, and our expectation is it will really have a substantial impact on the quality of Australian grain going up into the Asian markets.
Turning to GRDC itself, it's really been over the years a very lean model. Until recently, 40 full-time staff only, managing an investment that this financial year has gone up to $181 million. The organisation, I guess, recently has undergone a bit of a beefing up. Tell us about that.
Yes, and my view on this is that we were too lean, and as a consequence of that, it was difficult for us to be responsive to our partners. And I think that was an issue for us. So over the last 12 months, we have put on additional staff. We now have 57 full-time employees within GRDC. My expectation is that that will mean we're able to be more responsive. We're able to put more work and more effort and more thought into how we actually deliver the results of research to growers. And as a consequence, growers get a greater benefit out of their overall investment in GRDC.
Now, towards the end of the season just gone, you made it up into northern New South Wales. What impressed you about what you saw up there?
Well, just prior to harvest, I was up in the Moree area, particularly west of Moree, out into some fairly dry country, and specifically talking to some of our larger growers and what they were doing on their farm. They've got an interesting farming system up there, and lots and lots of concern and difficulty around managing diseases like crown rot. And particularly with the very dry finish that we've had to the last season, there were a lot of whiteheads and lots of evidence of the disease in the paddock. I think the most impressive thing out there was seeing how chickpeas are now fitting into their farming system. Some of the growers there are talking about actually making more money out of chickpeas than they are out of their wheat rotation. And in particular, the growers were very, very complimentary about the new PBA varieties that have come out, and particularly PBA Hat-Trick, which has really revolutionised the farming system up there with its ascochyta resistance. So that was very encouraging to see the impact of research on those growers up in that particular part of the world.
Now, you've done a lot of travelling around the countryside, as you often do, but this time you've been talking to researchers more than producers. Tell me why that is and what that's about.
We're going around Australia talking particularly to our research partners, but also to grower organisations and grower groups. It's important, I think, they understand our strategic direction. It's also important they know who's in GRDC and who's the right person to talk to if they've got an issue or they want to do some work with GRDC. So it's really about informing our partners about our strategic direction and having, I guess, some contact with them and being able to have an honest conversation with them about the things we're doing well and the things that we can improve and how we can be a better partner. So it's been very much about that. I think, I'm very grateful that our partners are honest with us. They do tell us the good things, but they also tell us the things we can improve.
John Harvey, thanks again for joining us on Ground Cover TV.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.